People are go hard from campus. Come on, tell me what I want. Campus connection, tell me what I want.
Hey, welcome to a brand new episode right here inside Campus Connection. We have 40 more weeks, 40 more Tuesdays left to go in the year. And we want you to be right here with us, right here on Love 101, the family station. We are 3 weeks into our new school term, and as such, we are here to connect with students, teachers, and even principals. And by the way, I am Floyd Wilson. I'm not alone. In the studio with me is my co-host this evening, Reverend Stephenson Samuels. He'll be joining us momentarily. As usual, it's going to be a great show, and we invite everyone, welcome to join us for another week of Campus Connection. Last week, we connected with a few universities and colleges, principals right here in Jamaica. And today, inside Campus Connection, we'll be connecting with a few campus coaches. That's right, we'll be connected with some campus coaches to find out what's going on with sports in our schools. And so today in Campus Connection, we'll be having a regular the Bread of Life that is brought to us by Giovanni Malcolm. He'll be sharing with us in the Bread of Life this week. We'll have our education news, and that's brought to us by our partner for the month of January, Delisa McLean. She is a second-year CARIMAC student, and she'll be doing campus news for us. And in our Let's Talk About It segment, we're going to be talking about sports. And we're going to be having the great man himself, Mr. David Riley. He is the president of the Jamaica Track and Field Coaches Association. We'll be also having Michelle Wallery. He is a coach there at the Petersfield High School, and Omar Hayes, coach of the Calabar High School in the house. Gary Mendez, coach at the Hosemati High School and vice president of the Hosemati High School Past Student Association. It's going to be a great program. It's going to be a packed program, and we want you to connect with us as we connect with these coaches right across the island. And we want to hear from them how student athletes and sports have been affected by COVID from the coach's perspective. All right, we know you're going to have a lot of questions. So the only way you can get the answers to those questions is to stay right with us here on Campus Connection. You can feel free to share with us on how the life of athletes have been affected or impacted due to COVID-19. You can feel free. Do you know a student athlete? Are you a student athlete yourself? Well, you can connect with us right here on our WhatsApp line at 876-997-3125. That's 876-997-3125. We want to hear from you right now. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back after these messages.
Love it there, yeah. Oh, Lord.
What if your device was a gateway to listen to so much music that dancing becomes your new workout, to stream so much live sports that your adrenaline will rush, to watch so many movies that you'll talk in famous dialogues, to video chat with your BFFs, Bip, D-Music, Sportsmax, Play Go, Loop, Go Loud, and Billow. All the digital experiences plus extra data to enjoy the things you love. Introducing the new Digicel Prime Bundles. Get 24 gigabytes with a 3-day bundle. So much data, so much fun. Buy in the My Digicel app today.
It's easier to do banking with the Community and Workers of Jamaica Cooperative Credit Union. Our internet banking or mobile app allows members to bank safely anytime, anywhere. You can check your balance, pay your bills, transfer funds, apply for a loan, and do so much more with a single touch. Visit our website, cwjcu.com, and sign up for internet banking. Or download our mobile app from the Google Play or App Store. Community and Workers of Jamaica Cooperative Credit Union. Discover the benefits of belonging.
The Kingston Keswick Convention will be held Sunday, January 24 through to Sunday, January 31. under the theme Consistent Faith in Challenging Times. And Love 101, the family station, will be sharing the nights of worship and word on radio and or social media platforms. The main convention can be heard each evening at 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. with guest speaker Bishop Conrad Pitkin, Custos of St. James. Friday is Youth Night, and it will be filled with excitement and interesting discussions from 6 p.m. to 8:30 p.m., including ministry from Rhoda Isabella and word by youth speaker Reverend Marcus Williams, hosted by Nadine Blair from Love 101. The men's meeting will be on Saturday, January 30 at 8 a.m. and the women's meeting at 10 a.m. Children, don't miss out on the Keswick Next Gen Kids, Saturday, January 30 at 3:30 p.m., hosted by Shivani Blair from Love 101. It's the annual Kingston Keswick Convention, Consistent Faith in Challenging Times. On in Love 101 FM radio, Love TV, and or social media platforms. Listen for news review at 5:45 p.m., Radio Bible School at 8:30 p.m., and Through the Bible with Love at 9 p.m.
Where the student them see we are, where the student see we are.
Yes, students are right here on Campus Connection, and you are inside that very program. And we are here on, you know, this station, Love 101 FM. I am Stephenson Samuels, and this is Campus Connection. And with me is Floyd Wilson. It is now time for the Bread of Life. The Bread of Life is brought to us today by member of Pentecostal Redeemed Church, Greenwich Road, and that's in Kingston 13. And so we want to welcome Giovanni Malcolm. That's right, Giovanni Malcolm. Over to you, Giovanni.
Greetings, Jamaica. I hope we all are having a wonderful day. I am Brother Malcolm from the Pentecostal Redeemed under the leadership of Pastor Peter Calvert. Today I want to speak to you on the topic blinded but able to see. I'm coming from the book of Acts chapter 9, verse 9. The Bible says, and he was 3 days without sight and neither eat nor drink. Bless the name of the Lord. I know that for a trope or a thesis, that sounds very ridiculous. As you, the listeners, may wonder, how does that make sense? But if you should consider Saul's conversion and that through the process of transformation, how he experienced a name change to Paul, in the midst of the conversion and transformation process, Paul lost his physical ability to see. And in reference of scriptures, it is the same Paul who encourages us that we must not look on the things which are seen, for they are temporal, according to 2 Corinthians 4, verse 18. So the Bible teaches that he went on 3 days without physical sight. But while he was going through this phase, he suffered that inability. He, through prayer, received the ability to see. And he saw a man in a vision. He saw a man in a vision. Did not our Bible teaches us that without vision, the people of God perishes? Can you just imagine for a second? If Paul did not tap into the ability to see through the eyes of the Spirit, he'd be stuck in the same position, struggling with the inability to see spiritually. It was through prayer that Peter received the ability to see. It was through prayer Cornelius received the ability to spiritually see also. Some of us today, we are stuck in some situations, struggling for years because we lack the ability to see through the eyes of the Spirit. So Paul saw the grace of God in a vision, and the name Ananias represents the grace of God. The Hebrew language is Ananias, and that means the grace of God. So Paul saw this grace of God, and after 3 days, what he saw in a vision became his reality, because Ananias came to him and restored his sight. So whatever the Lord reveals to you through the ability to see spiritually, I'm telling you, my brothers and sisters, he will bring that thing to pass. It is important that we learn and grasp the ability to see through the eyes of the Spirit through prayer. Heaven bless you today. I hope you have a wonderful day as you meditate upon these words. God bless you in Jesus' name.
God bless you, my brother Giovanni, for that powerful exhortation there. Thank you so much, my brother, for being with us as you admonish the campusites to, to pray that their spiritual eyes will be opened in the same way that Paul's spiritual eyes were opened. Thank you so much for that. God bless you, Giovanni.
You are welcome, sir. Have a wonderful day.
And have a wonderful day yourself.
Bless you.
Pastor Sam, Giovanni, a man of your own heart, sounds like a young preacher there.
Him sound hotter than me, man. Him sound heavy. Really, truly. He sounds like a little preacher there.
Yeah. Before we go on, Pastor Sam, we want to take a break. We got a weekend event coming up this weekend, a very special event. You care to share about that for us?
That's right. There is a special event coming up, and this event relates a lot even to students. Right. It's the word love, follow, share. Gosh, love is in there. Love is in everything. No. Yes, the word love, follow, share. It's back to school and back to church. And that's going to happen on Saturday, January 30th. And it will be at 10 o'clock in the morning. And it's going to happen via Zoom. That's the venue. And so they gave us a meeting ID, which is 810-456-5998. And the password is 272516. They have some very good speakers here. I see the person speaking would be Mr. Jasper Gabriel, and he's the JTA president. And we also see Dr. Wayne Wesley, and he's the CXC registrar and CEO. That's right. And this is all happening under the host and leadership of Reverend Kevin Page. That's right. Reverend Kevin Page is the host, and it's back to school, back to church, and it's all happening this very Saturday, 10 o'clock in the morning. And we're going to be listening to Jasper Gabriel and Wayne Wesley. It's being presented by the Youth and Discipleship Department of the New Testament Church of God in Jamaica.
Thank you very much, Reverend Sam, for sharing with us about that special event. So campusites, you can definitely check that one out. Back to school, back to church. It sounds like it's going to be a great program. So I want to remind our listeners that today in Campus Connection, we're going to be focusing on sports in the midst of COVID. So campusites, do you know a student athlete? Are you a student athlete yourself? Well, you can contact us on our WhatsApp line at 876-997-3125. We want to hear how COVID has affected you. We want to hear from you.
That's right. We want to hear from you, campusites. And before we head to the break, we have our education news, and it is brought to us by our student partner for the month, doing a very good job, Delissa McLean. You know, Delissa is a second-year student from Tarmac, and we are so delighted to have her for the month of January. Delissa, give us the news. Delissa.
I guess we're connected with her.
That's right. Well, we can come back to her a little later. So
yeah,
we will move on.
Yeah. So, just want to remind our listeners, as usual, that you are tuned to Campus Connection, and this is where students connect to grow. This is the family station, Love 101. And, as we look at the whole topic as of sports, a lot of sports has been really shut down right now. More sports seasons, practices, camps have been canceled due to the coronavirus pandemic. Many athletes, including high school and college seniors, maybe experience a sense of loss and resentment, Pastor Sam. I can just imagine a lot of these persons working hard and not being able to hit the track.
Yeah, that's true. And we are just in great anticipation to hear and get a current, cutting edge update on the situation. So we want you to stick and stay with us, because after these messages, we will connect with a few campus coaches who will share on this business of COVID impact and how it affects their students. Please listen and wait. We are coming right back after these messages.
We are where the student. We are. I want to go on campus.
Love 101 has a serving for everyone in the family, of course. We're the family station. So for all the sports enthusiasts, you're never left out, because we have Sports Talk this and every Saturday from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock. Join your host, Dean Smith, as he does the interviews that gets the views to give you the best review on Sports Talk on Love 101. No sport is left out. So catch Sports Talk on your family station Saturdays 1 to 2 p.m. Don't miss it.
The next big thing. It's coming on Love 101.
I've got love in my heart and I'm feeling blessed. I am a man, yes. Strong man, integrity man, I am a man.
It's the final Wednesday inside January. I know what the man them do on last Wednesday. It's Mentegrity Wednesday inside the mailbox. Tune in this Wednesday, January 27th, with host Pastor Courtney Morrison and yours truly, Kevin Bailey, at 5:30 p.m. inside the mailbox with our Mentegrity guest who dubs himself a Bible addict, gospel recording artist, father and husband, Nicholas, popularly known as DJ Nicholas. Be sure to tune in this Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. to hear about the importance of a man having values and character in his family, ministry, leadership, marriage, and to add his music. We'll also hear about his 2020 lessons and his 2021 vision. It's all things integrity with DJ Nicholas this Wednesday inside the mailbox. This Wednesday, January 27th, 5:30 p.m. here on Love 101, the family station.
Where the student them we are. Where the student we are. I want to go on campus. We are carrying one campus. Come on, everyone. Campus connection.
Yes, you're tuned to Love 101, and this is the family station, and this is Campus Connection. This is where students connect to grow. I'm Floyd Wilson, and with me is my co-host, Reverend Stephenson Samuel. So right now we're going to be talking all about sports, Pastor Sam, and to shed some light on us, we have some wonderful guests with us, Pastor Sam, to shed some light on the topic. We're connecting with some campus coaches. We want to find out some answers from them about the way things have been going with sports in the midst of COVID. So, Pastor Sam, we have joined us online. We have some big men join us online. You know, who are these big men, Reverend Sam?
Yeah, man. We have David Riley, who is the president of Jamaica's Track and Field Coaches Association. Didn't even know about that association, I must confess. We have Omar Hawes, is that what it is? And he's a coach at the Calabar High School. And we have Gary Mendez, and he's a coach at the Jose Marti High School and vice president of the Jose Marti High School Past Student Association. That's interesting. And we also have Michelle Woolry, who is a coach at the Petersfield High School, and you know we've seen Petersfield come up in champs in a few events there. Would be very interested to hear what he has to say.
Yeah, man.
Well,
Petersfield is a big school, and especially on the long distance running.
Yes, yes.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Well, I see here that we have Mr. Michelle and Mr. Gary Mendes, and as we said, Mr. Gary Mendes is a coach at the Josemarte High School and vice president of the Josemarte High School Past Students Association. And Mr. Michelle Woory is the coach at the Petersfield High School. Well, we've been talking about Petersfield, so maybe we should just continue along that vein. Sir Woory, please, am I getting the pronunciation of your name correctly?
Yes, man.
So that's Michelle.
Yes.
Wonderful. And you're a coach at the Petersfield High School. And what has 2020 been like, or what was 2020 like for you as a coach? You know, I was going to say training youngsters, but maybe I should say not training anybody for 2020.
It was a rough year. You know, if somebody give you a vision that 2020 would be a year where no track and field will take place after March, even at the high school setting, you say probably you're a lying, man. That's a joke. You wouldn't expect that to happen in Jamaica. It was just a shocker for the kids, and some of them don't deal with it positively. Some of them deal with it as best as they can. Some lose scholarship because performance in 2020 was poor in the early part, and they were dependent on champs to revive their career going forward. It was a rough one. I think more stressful than anything else.
Wow.
Okay.
Yes, interesting.
Would any of those students miss out on like major scholarships and it's just gone because they would maybe have to leave school or they're not as fit anymore?
Well, we have few miss out on scholarship and didn't get option to go to a Division 1 school. Probably some is trying to get into a junior college. Some miss out on it totally because it was their last year at school. And sometimes as a coach, when they get injured early in the season, you're trying to play safe and see how best you can treat the injury and get them back ready to go to champs. So some didn't get to compete over a year and 2 years. And 2020 was a year that they look to shine to get themselves that position to get a scholarship, and it's no more.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Before Floyd jumps in with a question, I'm sure he's just bubbling because he thinks that he's a bigger sportsman than me. I want him to know that I was on the track team at my school. Well, Mr.
There are track teams and there are track teams.
You know,
some person when they go to high school, when they compete in the inter-house sports, they are on the track team, you know, inter-house.
They're on the track team.
Exactly.
Sir Michelle, we don't want to let me down today, you know. Sir Gary, how was 2020 or how was 2020 for you?
Let me just first make a correction because actually I am not the coach at Josemarte. The coach at Josemarte is Mr. Rupert Green.
Okay.
My function there, however, is on behalf of the Past Student Association. And as a vice president of the association, my portfolio involves sports.
Yes.
So it causes me now to be there with them in terms of sports as a liaison person. One of the things that we do is that we try to garner sponsorship for them. We also try to motivate the youngsters as much as possible and just try to build the vibes with them right there at school. 2020 was challenging.
Excellent.
2020 was challenging, and I can tell you that with the advent of COVID, and everybody would have known that it caused the students and the student athletes in particular to be out of school. It and as a sports person, as you profess to be, you would have known that without proper training, you know, it would be difficult for you to perform at your utmost best.
Yes.
And
Oh,
I can
yes,
tell you,
I
it has
know
been a
that very well.
challenge. It is a big challenge for the students there at Ozemarty.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
Mr. Mendez.
we want to just
Thank him. Yes. Go ahead, sir. Go ahead, Rev.
When I challenge I find in the high school now,
what I was going
I'm finding my challenge I find in my school, I have a vast amount of students who does sports, and it's because of sports they do academic work. Because we set some criteria on the track team or the football team for them to maintain, apart from outside is a standard, to be a part of the team. And because of that, they do some form of academic work at school. And no sports for them, school don't exist. Because the only reason why they come to school was sports. And to be a part of the sports, they have to do some extra work. They have to do this. You know, so you want to get a scholarship. You have to achieve certain academic performance to get that scholarship. So outside of sports now, some of them don't even want to come to school. We have a challenge where vast majority of kids are majorly from a team. They not go online school. We try to reach out to them outside of sports for them, because I teach at my school also. So I'm not only a coach, I'm a teacher also. So I understand the challenge. I'm here to tell you sports, because no sports for them is like not more that exists for them. No sports, hey, they got work, they got a different field. That's it.
I would also like to bring you to a different point of view, though, because especially with I consider Ozemarty a liquor school in compared to sports, right? So for us, we also have to look at the fact that without sports, some of the coaches don't get paid also, so they also lose out on income and earning income, right? And it is something that affected us at Ozemarty, where we had to cut back in terms of the coaching staff, because we don't have that lush of money like other schools to run proper, let me not just say proper, but big sport program. So the little bit that we have, we had to be scaling back. I know when I spoke with the principal and the vice principal in charge, they expressed that sort of lacking to us. And as past students, we reach out as much as we can. And we try to get things like gears, and I must big up Puma, who helped us out the other day with some gears, right? I just have to make a shout out to them and other past students across, not just Jamaica, but across the world, who chip in from time to time to assist the sport program there at Ozemarty. And it has helped, and we're hoping to reach the level that some of these schools are, but we have to try our best with what we have right now.
Good.
Well, it's the same challenge. It's the same challenge that I have, and as I hear shout out to Puma, I have to shout out to Adidas for their contribution to our program. Adidas gives a lot of contribution to our program, and I don't want to say that since we are branding marketing for this company, big up to Adidas. But I have a lot of persons, local business people, past students, and they really give out. I know that principals, past principal and current principal at my school, really contribute a lot to sport. Mr. Evans is a past principal. Mr. Green is the current principal now. He really supports sports. My board chairman, well, whatever he can find the money, he really find them. Mr. Leslie, he really put forward. But I understand the challenge at school. Some school, I'm not a big school. Probably some people consider we as big school, but we lose a lot of kids now. We lose a lot of young ones. The development of sports is stifling, and it's getting a lot of stifling. For football, it's a no-no for football. It's totally hard to get a football scholarship. I imagine you do have football for a whole season. So you have one star boys now that leave school without anything where sports is concerned. And there's a challenge. People like the performance. People contribute to performance. Don't make anybody tell that, hey, I will give to your team. They want to see you perform. And the big schools will continue to get those resources because they have past students within organization who ensure that funding come their way. But school like our school, cancer liquor school, resources dried up. Students' attendance dries up. People want to come to your school in future. That eliminated because they don't see you and you can bounce back as quite as quick as some other schools. And that's a challenge. And some of these kids now, they really need some form of intervention when it comes on to sports. Psychological intervention, social intervention to tell us, hey, things can get better and probably there'll be a way out in the future. I would love if the government could have started in-house scholarship program at some of these institutions to offset for this 2020-2021 academic year for some of our students in this year to help them out academically.
So thank you so much, Mr. Wallery and Mr. Mendez. We're going to take a break right now, and we're going to rejoin these gentlemen to discuss some more about COVID and how sports have been affected by COVID in this season.
We are, I want a one campus. We are Cadillac one campus.
Love 101 has a serving for everyone in the family. Of course, we're the family station. So for all the sports enthusiasts, you're never left out because we have Sports Talk this and every Saturday from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock. Join your host, Dean Smith, as he does the interviews that gets the views to give you the best review on Sports Talk on Love 101. No sport is left out. So catch Sports Talk on your family station Saturdays 1 to 2 p.m. Don't miss it.
The Kingston Keswick Convention will be held Sunday, January 24 through to Sunday, January 31. Under the theme, Consistent Faith in Challenging Times. And Love 101, the family station, will be sharing the nights of worship and word on radio and or social media platforms. The main convention can be heard each evening at 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. with guest speaker Bishop Conrad Pitkin, Custos of St. James. Friday is Youth Night, and it will be filled with excitement and interesting discussions from 6 p.m. to 8:30 p.m., including ministry from Rhoda Isabella and word by youth speaker Reverend Marcus Williams, hosted by Nadine Blair from Love 101. The men's meeting will be on Saturday, January 30 at 8 a.m. and the women's meeting at 10 a.m. Children, don't miss out on the Keswick Next Gen Kids. At 3:30 p.m., hosted by Shivani Blair from Love 101. It's the annual Kingston Keswick Convention, Consistent Faith in Challenging Times. On in Love 101 FM radio, Love TV, and or social media platforms. Listen for news review at 5:45 p.m., Radio Bible School at 8:30 p.m., and Fill the Bible with Love at 9 p.m.
Where the student them see are, where the student see are. I want a one campus.
Welcome back to Campus Connection here on Love 101. This is where students connect to grow. Thank you for sticking and staying with us. We're having a discussion here with two gentlemen, Mr. Marshall Wallery, the coach at the Petersfield High School, and Mr. Gary Mendez, the Vice President of the Jose Marti High School Past Students Association. You know, Mr. Mendez, you mentioned earlier just how important, you mentioned that you are responsible for, looking at sports as a part of the Past Students Organization. And, the coach also mentioned how important sports is in regards to assisting students to get certain scholarships. How badly do you think, or how much of a benefit do you think sports has on students, and what effect do you think it has had on so many students who don't have sports as an outlet at this time?
Well, I'm going to put on the hat now as a parent of a student athlete, and I can tell you the psychological effect of not being able to go out and participate. I watch my son walking around the house. Sometimes I call it a zombie, because he's just outside of himself, because he wants to go out there and perform, because that's how he gets to express himself. And I can tell you that even with the whole advent of Zoom training, which I don't think really help much. But even with the whole advent of Zoom training, the difference is being out there competing with your peers, whether you're running against another student just to pace yourself to see where you at. It's a complete different thing from the Zoom training. We also look at the fact that some of the students will miss out on scholarships because if they are not able to perform and to do the times and stuff like that, you will find out that they won't be able to gain certain scholarships that are out there for them. So it has affected them in many, many different levels. And I can tell you that we are just waiting to see the end of this COVID situation.
I can understand. I can understand. Whoever see itching to ask.
Well, I'm just wondering, how did COVID change what they had in mind for themselves? Like, well, it's Mr. Mendes alone that seemed to be on. Am I correct? At this point,
it seemed like Mr.
But you'd have been on the you'd have been on the Past Students Association, Sir Mendes, and you have special responsibilities for sports. But there's no sports. So is it that you don't have a portfolio then?
Well, sports is just a part of what I do at the Past Student Association, but it's a big thing because let me tell you, you still keep in touch with the students. I am in their WhatsApp group also, so from time to time you can see what they're saying or they're relating to each other, and you can also impart some amount of encouragement to them from the group, from the WhatsApp group. So it's really and truly, you don't just leave it because COVID is here and there's no sport. You try to still encourage them. You try to call one and two of them and say, boy, make sure you're doing your schoolwork, doing some studying, something, and as part of what we do as past students, we also took it upon ourselves to provide care packages for them last year when things were not so great. Our past students from the diaspora and locally, we team up together and we put together little what we call care packages also, and some of them we take them to their houses. Some people could come in and collect. We try the social distancing with them as much as possible, but we still do work behind the scenes because it's what we do is not just because of sports or just because of one thing only, but we have a holistic approach to how we assist the school.
Yeah, excellent. Tell me, what is the event that your son does?
Oh, my son does the sprints and also hurdles. I'm sorry, Mr. Haas is not all because Mr. Haas is one of his coach. So he's a sprinter basically.
I see. And how, as a parent, now you give? I'm taking off your hat as a school leader and putting on your parent hat. How do you think you can serve your child who is an athlete in the best way? Because I'm sure there are lots of parents of student athletes that are listening to this program. Tell us, what are some of the things you do to engage your son and to maximize him as an athlete, and how also do you keep him balanced with athletics and school?
Well, let me just say that if I wasn't on with you right now, I would be at training with him. It has become a part of my regular daily routine where I leave work and I go to training with him, and we're there, we're encouraging him all the way. We try to show him or say to him, you're doing this wrong, you should do this better, and stuff like that. Also, his mother and we also try our best to keep him in terms of his educational part. We try to make sure that he does his schoolwork. We make sure that his classes are done. We follow up with him on his books also, because he's a student first, right? And an athlete second. So we have to make sure that he gets in as much of the education part of schooling as possible, that and also complement that with his talent of running.
Thank you for that. Do you think, though, Mr. Mendez, it's different in terms of how you motivate a student athlete? You mentioned that he's an athlete, so sometimes students can be focusing so much on the athletics. How do you motivate him to have a balance between the academics and the athletics?
Well, what I do is that I make sure that the work is done. I know he wants to be at training at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so I make sure that he can show us that he's producing during the day. And as I said before, he's a student first, so the academics must come first. Especially for me, his academics must comes first, because I even tell him that, listen, if you're even going to get a scholarship later on, you want to be able to get a very good scholarship, right? And in order to get a very good scholarship, you have to have the educational part of it also, right? And it's not just about athletics, because as a former athlete myself, you know that injury is a big part of athletics, and sometimes it takes just one injury to end a track career or an athletic career. But one thing for sure, if you have the educational part of it, you will always be able to sustain yourself. So we try to make sure that we impart that part in him, let him understand that, listen, your education is something that you must.
I think we're trying to get a reconnection with Mr. Mendez. Mr. Mendez, you with us?
Put priority on, right? I mean, you love sports. We love sports.
Yes, you're back with us. And I know that right now, you're a parent, you care about your child, and but you're also, somebody who is interested in other student athletes. I know there are talks now about reopening sports back in schools. What are your thoughts about that, in terms of the reopening of sports, and how do you think that the government can go about doing that in a responsible way? Mr. Mendez?
I missed a part of your question. I'm sorry about that.
Okay, and I'm just saying, how do you feel about the reopening of sports in schools, and how do you think that the schools can do that in a safe way?
Maybe
You got me?
The reopening of sports. Yes, you asked about the reopening of sports in schools.
Yes.
Right?
What are your thoughts about that?
I think we have to be very careful how we do it. One, because the virus, the coronavirus, is a real thing, and we would not want to have any of our students or anybody in particular become infected. So we have to be very careful how we approach the whole reopening of school. I believe that outside of sports, I know that students are suffering, right? But we would just love to see between the government and the education institution to find a better way or a more suitable way to try to combat this, because we must get back our students in schools, not just for sports, but just for the whole being in school, the whole academic. We need to get back our students in school. So I would just want. It's not an easy thing, and I don't have the answer. But I would love for all persons involved and all persons who are interested in school and education to just come together and see how we can find a better way or a best way to continue education.
Yeah. So right now we're in 2021, and I guess 2020 has passed, and we have learned a lot from 2020. What are the plans that your organization, your association has, as you help student athletes in this year?
Well, we have plans to expand the sporting disciplines at Jose Marti. Back in the days when I was there, rugby was king, and we had the best rugby team back in the days at Jose Marti.
I
Right now,
remember
rugby is
that.
not.
I remember that.
Yes, we I remember going 2 3 years without being beaten once during our schoolboy rugby days, and because even as a schoolboy we used to play club rugby also, so it benefited us. We would like to see sports become more embraced within especially Jose Marti, because I'm speaking about Jose Marti now, because gone are the days when we look at sports as what they would call idleness, because there are big careers to be had through sports right now, and we don't need to go very far to see the testimony of this, right? So if a student don't necessarily have the academic capabilities, or or as we would say in Jamaica, they're not too bright, but they have the talent. I would love to see the schools put it in the curriculum to find ways to engage these students to help to maximize on their potential a little bit more. So we have our discussions, and we will be having more discussions with the leadership of Ozemati as to how we can get Ozemati to participate more in sports and build a stronger brand through sports there at Ozemati. So we're on the job. We have some big plans for the school. We have big plans for the school grounds. Without wanting to say more, we want to we want to get Ozemati to become a center of sports in Jamaica. So we have plans, and we're working towards those.
There's nothing like plans. Nothing like plans. I want to congratulate you, because if you don't have a plan and a vision, you're not going to go anywhere. And so
Yes.
it seems like Josemati has some very private plans there on the table to become a sports giant in Jamaica and the Caribbean. Congratulations. Congratulations on that. I know our time is coming to a close, but you say that you're not just a coach, but also a teacher. What do you
No,
teach?
I'm not a teacher. I'm not a
Oh,
teacher at all.
oh,
No,
big
no,
pardon.
no. Yeah, I think yes, no,
No,
I'm not a teacher.
Big
I tried it
pardon, big
once.
pardon.
I tried the classroom once, but it's not for me. It's not for me at all, at all,
So
at
you're
all.
strictly sports.
Um, in terms of well, I do work a 9 to 5, right? So
Separate and
right
apart
outside of
from
that,
separate and apart from coaching.
no, I don't. I'm not a coach, and I mentioned earlier that the coach at Ozemati right now is Mr. Rupert Green.
Oh yeah,
I,
that's
I,
true.
I,
That's true.
where I
That's
am
true.
really the past
Absolutely.
student.
Absolutely.
I'm really
Absolutely.
representing the past
That's right.
students.
That's right. Yes.
Yes, there.
Yes. Absolutely.
So
Absolutely. Floyd.
yes, yes. So, we really appreciate you, Mr. Mendez, being with us. You mentioned the fact that, also have some plans. You don't want to broadcast it right now, but, we wish you all
no,
the best
no,
of
no,
luck.
no, no.
Hey,
You know,
Floyd. It might give you a little something, man. Tell me just even a little sneak preview that we can say you heard it first on Love 101.
Well, just the sneak preview is that Ultimati is right in the center of commerce to and from Spanish Town, and we will not allow that to go to waste.
Ah,
That's an opportunity that we will not allow to go to waste.
mhm. Very good.
Without
and,
saying
and,
anything more.
I just wanted maybe, to say also, Mr. Mendez, being a part of the old boys, the past students association, I'm talking from an old boy perspective, but the past student perspective, how important it is for persons to contribute towards their past student association and how that can make a difference in the sport department of a school. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Let me tell you this. I remember when I participated at Champs back in the days. I won't tell you which year for Ozemarty. We had to basically exchange shoes. We were borrowing one shoes from one person to give to another person to just for them to compete. With a strong association, we don't need to do stuff like this. We can provide each child with a shoes. We can provide each child with ample gears and stuff like that so that they can participate. It is something that we take pride into. It's not just that, well, we are not rich, but what we're rich in is love. And we're rich in giving back. And we want to encourage other students, other past students to give back. Because I remember at our seminar, at our Founders Day ceremony the other day, one of the main speaker who is a past student, told stories of how she came to school without lunch money sometimes. And these are some of the things that as past students we can tackle, we can take on, we can help to provide little lunches for our students who are there, because not everybody have it. And if we come out of Ozemarty and we are a little bit better off now than we were then, it would be good for us to give back to some students who probably are going through the same situations that we went through. Right? So we take it as pride to give back. And we would like to encourage other students, other past students, not just of Ozemarty, but past students that are in our earshot right now, to look back to your school, look back to your alma mater. See how you can sponsor a child. See how you can help a hungry child to have lunch today, a bus fare to go home tomorrow, today, or so forth. It is the love that we have, that we share, and there's nothing greater than love.
All right, Gary, me like him is a preacher, just preach a sports sermon a while ago. I feel like going to my old school tomorrow morning.
Well, you should. You should,
excellent,
man.
Excellent.
You
I want
should.
to congratulate you, Gary, for the work that you are engaging in connecting with your old school, and for building not just the school in general, but the sports program, and also to offer your son as a living sacrifice in the sports program.
Well, it's in the genes. It's in the genes. Well, he's not at Ozemarty, actually. He's at the other. He's at another school. Yes, on Redhills Road. I won't call the name. A green school, a green and black school.
Yes, we know.
I won't call the name.
We know that great school. We know that great school.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Mendez, for being with us. On our Campus Connection program this evening. I want to also thank, Mr. Wollery, who was with us earlier, Marshall Wollery, the coach at Petersfield High School. Pastor Sam,
Yes.
as an old athlete yourself, this must have thrilled you to hear about what's going on with sports in our schools.
Absolutely. And I congratulate Gary, because back in my time, we didn't have any any old boys or old girls giving support in that area. So thank you very much, Gary, for the work. We want to say also thanks to our producer, Tony K. Bromfield, and to Derval Graham, my brethren, and Nico Allen, my other brethren, for their technical support. We also want to thank the guests, to our the student who brought to us the bread of life. Thank you very much, Giovanni.
Yes, I want to thank Mr. Gary Mendez again, the Vice President of the Students Association there at Ozemarty, and Mr. Marshall Wall, coach of Petersfield. Sorry, we're going to get all the coaches online, but it was a great having these gentlemen. Thank you so much for being with us.
Right. We did have
No
an
problem, man.
intention of
Anytime.
getting some others on, but regrettably, that could not happen this evening. So until next week, do remember to stay safe, stay sanitized, and stay inside. 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 I am Stephenson Samuels.
And I'm
you
Floyd
are?
Wilson.
That's right.
I'm Floyd Wilson. God bless.
Campus, oh Lord, that's a go on. Campus connection. Oh.
Here is a reminder from Love 101, the family station, as we face the COVID-19 pandemic. Masks are effective only when used in combination